Okay, can you see it now? Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can see. Okay, you can. Okay, wait. Let me open. Okay, this one. Okay. So this is the first question. Calculate national income. You have to calculate NNP at FC. Okay.
Ma'am, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Madhya is also here. Okay, Madhya, you joined so late. Actually, I just thought that you won't be joining and I started a different thing. Okay, because I have to. Okay, just a minute then. We will just start with that only. Okay, you people can hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, students, can you hear me? Madhya,
Yes,
Sumaya,
ma'am.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Madhya and Sumaya, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so basically, Madhya, as you have your exam and Indian economy is coming to you. So today you no need to write anything. I'll just explain the things and we'll just try to cover this. I'll share these notes with you people. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you people see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's just start. So first of all, this chapter is introduction. Okay. So what is this introduction, ma'am? Okay, you people can switch on your cameras. Okay. So over here, the structure of India's present economy has its truth steep in the period when India was under British rule. So you should know that earlier India was under the control of Britishers, right? This chapter we will do in detail also, but today just giving you a recap. Okay, just keep these notes with you. That's it. Okay, so India was under the control of Britishers, and in 1947, 15 August 1947, India got independence. Clear? So now over here, what happened? The
Yes,
purpose of
ma'am.
British colonial rule in India was to reduce the country to being a raw material, right? From a Great Britain own rapidly expanding modern industry. Now this is very important. For example, you are under a control of somebody. Will that person ever want you to develop? Tell me. Will he ever
Yes,
want that you should succeed and he should be back end? Tell me.
yes,
No. Right? So this is what. So what happened basically? India, when India was under the control of Britishers, India economy, everything came so, yes, because of these reasons. Okay. Now we will understand what was the state of Indian economy on the eve of independence. Like when India got independence. Indian Independence Eve means, we celebrate birthday eve. Yes. You people know we celebrate
yes,
birthday
ma'am.
eve. Yes. What do you understand by birthday eve? Tell me. A day before your actual birthday. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is what. So what
Yes,
was the state like before getting independence? What was the state of India? So on the eve of independence, India poses low level of development under the colonial rule. So over here, low level of development was there under the colonial rule. So before the advent of British rule, India had a this is very important. India has an independent economy before the advent of British. So India was independent. Nobody was controlling India before the advent of British rule. Agriculture was the main source of livelihood. So from where people were getting money and everything, agriculture. India was well known for its handicraft industry in the field of cotton and silk textile, metals, and precious stonework. Okay, so in India, there was nothing very new. India was very much famous for their handicraft industries like cotton and silk textile, metal, like this, right? And India was basically uh, this handicraft and all that. It was worldwide. Everybody was loving India's handicraft and all that. Why? Because the quality which India was giving, right? And the high standard of craftsmanship, the designs were so unique that everybody in the world was impressed and everybody was praising India, right? Clear? Shall we quickly read this? Okay, so you have to just read it up. Okay, so this was the condition of before the independence, right? So what was the condition before the independence, right?
it was
Is this clear till here? So if somebody asks you what was the condition of India, you will say that India was an independent country, India had agriculture, and everybody was dependent on agriculture. Mhm. India was well known for its handicraft industry. And if I ask you why India was well known for handicraft industry, you will say, ma'am, because the fine quality of material that Indians were using, plus the high standard of craftsmanship, like the designs and all that, they were so unique that because of that, India was enjoying a worldwide famousness of this. Clear? So quickly read it up and then tell me. Okay, and then we will discuss that during when Britishers were ruling India, what was the condition of India. So we get to know that India was a very healthy country, very economically rich, handicraftly rich. It was very good country before the advent of Britishers. But once the British are established, like came, what happened? We'll listen to it. We'll see it, but read this first. Okay. Okay, you can see the screen. Yes. Okay. Now, during the British period, what happened? So, during the British rule, basically, the colonial government followed the policy of production and promotion of economic interests of their home country. Though Britishers came to India, but they were only focusing how they can get benefit from India, right? So now, impact of these policy on Indian economy. So such policy brought about the fundamental change in the structure of Indian economy, transforming the country into supplier of raw material and consumer of finished good. Now understand this. What happened basically? The Britishers, right? The Britishers basically, they were taking raw material from India. Okay. And after they were taking raw material from India, for example, they took wood from India, then they were making chairs out of that and they were selling the finished product to India. So this is what they change. See, for example, in my country, I have the wood. I can myself produce chairs, but they were taking raw material from India for maybe free of cost, and then producing out things out of this and then selling it. So the government never made any sincere attempt to estimate Indian national income and per capita income. However, most study did not find that the country's growth rate was. So over here, what happened? The British government never made a sincere attempt to estimate Indian national income and per capita. You know, national income is very, very important. But the British government never forced on any of this, right? So these were the things. Now this is very important. The agriculture sector, right? So agriculture sector, what happened? Agriculture sector during British colonial period. So Indian economy under the British colonial rule remained fundamentally agrarian. 85% of the people were in this sector, right? Now, what happened? The features. As I told you, before the advent of Britishers, everything was very good, right? So level of productivity of agriculture was very low. So you can see productivity decreases. Technology and education facilities were negligible. Fertilizers, you know, they forced people to use fertilizers, and because of this, what happened? It resulted in the low productivity. Third, the Britisher did not intend to spend technical improvement in agriculture. See, technology is very important to grow the production, but Britisher never made any sincere attempt for that also, right? And despite being large areas under cultivation, there were slow level of production because of low productivity. So see, if your entire country is dependent on agriculture, if that sector also is not good enough, you will never grow. So you can see what was the feature, like what was the structure of this British colonial rule in India, right? So agriculture totally got collapsed because Britishers were not focusing over there. Even after knowing that 85% of people are dependent on that, they never forced on that. They never focused on this. Okay. So we'll first write impact of these policies on Indian economy, like the Britishers one, and then agriculture sector of British colony. Clear? I hope everybody is getting the story. We are reading. Yes. Sumaya and Madhya, you are getting it? Students, am I audible? Can you hear me? Sumaya and Madhya, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about Sumaya? Is it clear? Sumaya, can you hear me? Okay. Now quickly read it up, then we'll move to the next topic. Okay, done. Okay. Now, basically, what happened? Uh, in India, there was a what happened basically in India, the growth was really stagnant and low productivity was there. Right? So why? Because there was a zamindari system of revenue. That means whatever money you are there, zamindar will collect some tax out of that. Right? So see, agriculture is already low. People are earning low, but still you have to give certain amount of things to the zamindars. Right? So the main interest of zamindar was only to collect rent, regardless of the economic condition of the cultivator. No matter you are rich, no matter you are poor, you have to give the rent. Okay. And then the fourth one, to very large extent, the term of revenue settlement was responsible for zamindar adopting such attitude. So what happened? Britishers hired these zamindar that you have to do this, this, this. If they fail to do so, then they have to pay on behalf of, or their seat would be removed, or they will be removed from their position. So that's why they were very strict toward people. They didn't know whether you are earning good or not. You have to give the tax, no matter what your economic condition is. So that is the reason why agriculture, Indian agriculture was stagnant and low productivity was there. Will you quickly read it? Okay, done. Now over here, commercialization of agriculture also. What happened basically? Due to commercialization of agriculture, there was some evidence of higher yield of cash crops in some part of country. So now, earlier farmers were growing for their production, like we will eat it and we will not sell it. But now commercialization was there. You need to sell it, right? So that's a great problem. And then nobody was investing in the agriculture. So low investment in agriculture was there. Like Indian agriculture was there because there was terrace farming. We need money, but nobody was investing. Okay, done. Now, one more thing is why handicraft industry collapsed. This is very, very important question. I told you that India was very good in handicraft, but why it collapsed? So India handicraft was discouraged by imposing heavy duty on their export. Now, if you are selling it to somebody, you have to pay tax. For example, the product is for 100 rupees, you have to pay 50 rupees tax. So of course, nobody will be doing it. Machine made good from British were low price. For example, a shirt, if that is handwritten, handmade, sorry, so that will be for 1,000 rupees. If you purchase it from Britain, then it will be for 50 rupees. So everybody started purchasing from Britain because that was for machine. So again, if nobody will purchase from me, what I will do? Nothing. Then before the British rule, Indian handicraft was supported by Indians, Europeans, Prince. Now everybody was demanding. Right, so that's why it was more. But now nobody was demanding because nobody has the excess of it. Right? So, and then after that, effect of decline of India's world indigenous handicraft. Now it got collapsed. What happened? So it created a massive unemployment because a lot of people were working in these industries. Now it created unemployment. It also created new demand to Indian consumer market, the decreasing import of cheap manufactured goods from Britain. Okay. Okay, done. Now let's just move to the next one. What was the twofold motive behind the systematic deindustrialization affected by Britishers? Now, see, whatever Britishers were doing, they were doing it intentionally, right? That, okay, we don't need India, or like, we would make them poorer or something like that. Yes? So, to reduce India to the status of mere exporter. So, first of all, they wanted to reduce India from exporter. They didn't want India to earn money. So, they wanted to remove India from exporter of raw material to the supplier of raw material, right? Exporter of raw material, and they don't want India to become exporter of finished goods. So, that's why they made India exporter of raw material. Then to turn India into sprawling market. Sprawling it, they are crawling down, they're begging it for survival, right? Finished outfitters, so that continued expansion could be ensured for the maximum. So they just wanted that India should scroll down so that they can take the advantage of it. Yes. And then modern industry sector during the second half of 19th century. So initially, this development was confined to the setting up of cotton and jute mill industry. So they first set cotton and jute industry, then mainly dominated by India, were located in the western part of country, namely Maharashtra and Gujarat. So where it was in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Subsequently, later on, iron and steel industry also began. You should remember this date, which is very, very important, which is 1907. Clear? And later on, few more industry also came place.